All right, Long Beach Yacht Club, are you ready for the Junior Congressional Cup? Woo! I'm not sure if they heard us, guys. Do you think that the Long Beach Yacht Club is ready for the Junior Congressional Cup? Okay, that's a little better. That's a little better. We're going to need you guys to keep bringing the energy, though. My name is Marilyn Cassidy. I'm here with Sophia Corzine and Jack McGee, our two local experts, and actually FJ experts, too. Let me start with you, Sophia. Who do you think is going to be first to flip?
I think it's going to be Taryn Tandy and Nicole Brialt because I think she's just going to lose control.
Oh, okay. I don't think that's a very popular opinion up here. Jack, what do you think?
I mean, I really do love Otto, but I could see him going over here, just a little unstable, but we'll see.
Wow,
What do you think, Marilyn?
This is a tough one, but I'm going to go with Elizabeth Nash and Jan Coretta. Jan had a really good day out on the 37s. I wonder if he can see it through this.
All right.
So we're still in a practice period here for the competitors. They've just got a couple more minutes until we're going to get it all started. But we're excited to have this big crowd with us out here. And I don't know, is there anything else you guys would bring up that you think is interesting about the field, especially among the junior skippers this year?
I'll put Jan, I think, right?
Yeah. We have, I think, 3, maybe 4 high schoolers, and then the rest are all in middle school here.
Oh, wow, that's a really junior field, even for a junior Congressional Cup.
See if it takes a role in the results, if the high schoolers can pull through with their experience they've had in the FJs.
Yeah, because if you're a middle schooler, you've probably been in an FJ a handful of times, but you might just not have as much double-handed sailing experience, right?
And I know we have 2 of our sailors which have their high school practice at this venue, so they do have that advantage.
Local knowledge.
I think Elizabeth Nash and Zoe Kringen both sail here regularly.
Okay. So we're going to be looking out for both of them to have the insights on maybe the shore lift on either side. And so, Jack, is this where you guys practice for high school?
Well, some of us practice here, others practice in Newport, San Diego, wherever, but every single boat here, every single junior Con Cup skipper sails here and goes to Long Beach Yacht Club.
I think all of our sailors also grew up in this venue, so everyone has that home field advantage, I believe, at least.
Okay, I love that. I love leveling the playing field a little bit, and really what I am hearing is there's an opportunity for pretty much everyone out here.
Yeah.
Okay. We have an update from our PRO. We're just about to get going here, guys. Could we maybe just make a little bit more noise for our junior Con Cup competitors right now? I think we want them to be able to hear us out there on the water. Say that. Yeah, actually, we have a little bit of a family affair here going. I haven't heard you bring up your sister, Olivia, yet, Sophia. What's going on out there?
She won last year.
Oh.
And some people might be rooting for that double win.
Okay.
I'm ready to see someone else take that from her, but we'll have to see how it pans out with her mom being the PRO.
That's actually very interesting because we have Chris Poole going for the 3-peat, Olivia going for the repeat. That's another one for our watchers up here to keep their eye on.
Yeah.
And that was the 3-minute mark. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Olivia's with the same person she said with last year as well.
All right, then you know more than you let on.
Oh, I have it wrong. That was our wake up. For those of you more familiar with sailing than I am, I guess we are.
And that is 3 minutes until the start of the first race.
And we're already seeing some of our competitors really checking out the line, doing some of their kind of pre-start homework. Jack, what are you typically looking for right before the race starts?
Well, I'm always looking up the course, looking for pressure, looking for shifts, looking at flags nearby, and just oncoming traffic, like this little boat coming over on the right side, looking downwind here. Always got to look out for wake, always got to look out for just a potential hazard. But
I love that. That's a really good view into what everybody's kind of got their eye on right now. Now, Sophia, let me ask you to do what Jack just said. Look up the race course for us here. What are you seeing?
I think I'm seeing there's pretty good pressure everywhere. Might be an issue for some of the lighter teams. Doesn't look like we're gonna have much traffic this race besides that boat that's just gone by.
I see a little puff coming down on the right-hand side of that weather mark. Are you guys picking that up?
Oh yeah, I see that.
I'm wondering if that's going to be, and you guys know this race course way better than I do, but I'm wondering if that's going to be all the way down here at the starting area. Maybe, the pin to my eye looks a pinch favorite, but if there's better pressure over here by the committee boat, that's something to consider, yeah?
Yeah, and it's also going to be managing how close you want to get to the dock, because we have a pretty big boat here that could be causing a shadow if you decide to go too close behind it.
That's a great point. I've heard really lovely things about being on Plan B to hang out, watch them racing, but it is a little bit of an obstruction for us right now with just a minute and 30 seconds until the start. Now, Jack, do you think that boats 4 and 2 over here are already lining up for the start, or is this just some maneuvering?
I think they could be setting up, but I think they're going to figure out that the current is sweeping, and it's just going to take them further and further down the line, and they're going to be, they're not going to have a good start if they have this approach here.
What would you, then tell me, what would you recommend? What should these guys be doing right now?
Well, I'd probably cycle out of here, but if you can build up some speed, get your own lane, and just get off the line first, that's ideal, for a good start.
I think that's evergreen advice, actually, so I hope everybody's taking notes out here.
Looks like we have boat 6 coming in for a pretty late approach, still furthest back to the line. I think going to try coming in full speed right next to go and just see if they can punch through the line of boats that are going to still be accelerating.
Just about 30 seconds here, and I do think the kind of slingshot maneuver, I'll call it, right?
Yeah.
Snake a hole and go is something that could really work out.
11's in a really good spot here. There's no one else in the boat. They're going to be able to just come in and take that whenever they want.
And so in boat 11 is Otto, who is also one of our most likely to capsize nominees, so we're going to be keeping an eye on that one. Now, you may also see with just 10 seconds to go, we've got a couple of people who are kind of fighting for the pin and have bailed out, including Hudson. Hudson is in a over.
Oh, 6 was definitely over. Nope.
Okay, boat 4, boat 6, and I think there was another one called over early, but I'm not sure if they're hearing it.
Boat 6 is not going back, even though they are over early. They did not hear the memo.
Big choice. That's a big choice. I love to see boat 4 clear themselves. That's Olivia sailing with Chris Steele. Definitely some professional there. Going back, making sure they're clear, making sure they're going to get the points they earned in this race.
Boat 6 is really going to regret that. They are in 3rd place right now, and they are not going back.
Back to what Jack had said about Otto and Pete Nicholas in boat 11. They're looking pretty good right now. What do you think, Jack?
Well, they look good on this upwind, but I want to see what happens when it gets a little fluky on this downwind here. When you have a lead here, you're going to have a bunch of people rounding right behind you, and they're going to cause a lot of air trouble here and just absolutely mess with your breeze. So.
Yeah, because this is a non-spinnaker event, right? So everybody's just going to be pointed straight downwind, and there's going to be a lot of jockeying on this leeward
There's
leg.
going to be a lot of scary jiving as well, I think. I think that's, if anyone's going to flip today, I think that's where it's most likely to happen.
Okay, so race fans, get ready to watch this downwind. We do have, oh no, who is it? Who is that? If anyone can tell who went over, we're a little obstructed by Plan B here, but I understand there is a turtle on the course.
Boat 11, first around the mark.
We believe it may be Hudson and Bjorn Hansen.
No!
It's Brock. Boat 9. So Hudson, it is Hudson Brock and Bjorn Hansen.
Not even a candidate.
Kind of creating, and I see another one go over right now.
Oh!
We have a couple of different hazards out here. Oh my gosh, and boat 10 was just about to death roll. Did you guys catch that as they avoided another
And 11 off to an early lead coming to this downwind. No one behind them for miles.
Jack had called this from the very beginning, saying he really liked where Otto was set up. I mean, this looks pretty good right now, right, Jack?
Yeah, I really like the way Otto's sailing here. He's going for his jibe pretty early. It might be a really tight rounding here, but let's see how this goes.
I
think he's actually going down to a leeward mark, which is our can. Oh no, there's a set buoy a little bit lower down, so he still has some time to go.
Boat
but,
9 is up. See who flipped at the top mark.
Oh wow. Okay,
7 and 2.
Taryn and Zoe both had capsizes.
I'd like to point out I thought Taryn was going to capsize. Nobody believed me, and here we are.
You're gonna have to continue to be friends though after this, so everybody cool.
Of course.
This has been really good so far though, and I gotta say, okay, one of the many advantages Otto had coming into this race, Pete Nicholas, I just learned after speaking with his skipper at the Congressional Cup, is a 505 world champion. So there's a little bit of small boat experience in that vessel, wouldn't you say?
That's 100% advantage in this regatta. A lot of these skippers have only driven these large, clunky keel boats.
Although I have to say, Chris Poole is one of the guys who I would have put into a bigger keelboat kind of category, and he at least rounded that leeward mark in second and is just tacked into a pretty commanding second, really covering his competitors below him. Chris Poole, of course, sailing with Taj Lewis.
And we have Otto coming in here. No one in front of him, no one behind him. Gonna win. Looks like he might win the first race of the day.
All right, guys, up here on the pier/yacht club. Could you on the deck? Could you get ready to celebrate for me? Our first place in our first race is Otto winner and Pete Nicholas. Woo! And coming in, it looks like we're likely to have in second place Taj Lewis and Chris Poole.
Looks like champion Olivia Corzine coming in for the third.
Very nice. Oh yeah, here in
Gotta have a
boat
flatter boat than that if she wants to win the regatta.
That's some free advice, I guess, huh? Very nice, Olivia. Give it up for Olivia and Chris Steele. Followed by Kennedy and Cole Tapper. And next it looks like we have Brooks and Peter Wickwire here coming in fifth. In boat 3, Elizabeth Nash and Jan Garetta. And in boat 10, we have Kaya and Eric Monin. Now, I do know that we had a couple of over earlies who didn't go back. That's certainly going to affect the score sheet here, wouldn't you say, Jack?
Definitely, it definitely will. But I think the ones that did go back are very smart for that. It was a really congested line further down towards the pin. It was just picked up. Everybody had to accelerate. Some people couldn't find a lane quick enough and found out that way too late. So
I think it's a really good point. A lot of the crews on these boats have been really focused on match racing, one boat versus one boat. We put them out here in this slightly more complicated fleet racing environment with 10 boats on the line, and the lanes are a little harder to come by, aren't they, Sophia?
Yeah, and I think this actually probably preparing quite a few of our skippers for their fleet race they have this weekend coming up.
Yeah, well, that's yet to be decided who needs the preparation. We'll probably find out tomorrow, but it's a good point. The tides are about to change for some of these folks.
Yeah, 100%. All right, so coming to the first race, we have our top three, Olivia Corzine. Otto.
Otto had won. Olivia, I think, got third, and Taj. Yeah, that's right.
Taj in second.
Taj and Chris Poole in second. And I think that all of those boats had been clear at the start, is my recollection. But
Yes,
I have
I
no
believe-
doubt the scorekeepers are going to keep us honest on that one. Now, we still have a couple of folks finishing who may have been in a little bit more compromising position in the first race. Now, Jack, I don't want to lean on your experience too heavily here, but if you capsize in a race, you manage to get the boat a little bit dry, finish the race, what's your mindset going into the second race?
I think it would just be a low density start. Find a good spot on the line, get off with speed, and then just try and lead out to the favored end, which I believe right now is the right side of the course, and just go from there.
Yeah. I was saying this the other day to Tucker. You just got to be a goldfish. Forget about the past, move forward, focus on the race at hand, right?
Definitely. I couldn't agree more there.
Awesome. Okay. I heard our principal race officer announce something. I couldn't hear what it was, but I have a feeling we might be about to get going pretty soon here, guys.
Some people are taking breaks at the dock. It's too windy for them to handle.
Well, that is Long Beach delivering kind of afternoon, isn't it?
Looks like the defending champion is here on the dock taking a little break over here. I don't know if that's a strategy, but we'll see with this next race what that brings.
Jack, any intel on what's going on down there on the dock?
Well, Zoe Kringen was one of the boats that flipped, and I'm assuming that she might have a little water still in there. So she is definitely trying to get some of that out.
All right, I'm going to do a little bit of inside baseball, but for those of the folks up here on the deck who haven't previously sailed an FJ, one of the things that I know came up a lot for me and my team was what is the best bailer? So what would you guys say is the best bailer these days?
I would say the best bailer you can find, it's the largest Arizona can you can find that'll still fit in the ridges of the boat.
Oh,
That's
Arizona
what you need.
jug. I like it,
Arizona
Jack.
jug,
What do you think?
That's what I use.
I'm personally a big, like, tide definitely, for sure, which is, it's easy to make. You just cut a little hole right there and then figure it out.
Jack, I gotta say, you and I are on the same team. I wasn't loyal to Tide, the brand, but I was a laundry detergent girl
But
for
the
sure.
Arizonas are like the perfect size. They just fit in and then you scoop it out.
I think Tide's pretty legit though.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
I'll have to look into it.
Yeah, it's especially as you guys continue on in your FJ careers, the debate will continue. Now, I think I hear our principal race officer, Wendy Corzine, trying to herd some cats down here and get us rolling for our second race. We're looking for a warning pretty soon, is my best guess. I also see a little bit of potentially foul play between the Swedes here. Bjorn Hansen tossing water over at Otto Wenner and Pete Nicholas. Is that something you guys typically would engage in on the race course?
At the end of the day, it's all just trash talk, I feel like. But, I mean, I respect it as long as they can back it up.
All right, well, I will say that they were over early in their first start. So let's see if they can have some redemption here in race number 2.
And I think we really need to reconsider about going back because we know Olivia Corzine was over early, had to jive back around and ended up getting third that race.
Yeah.
So I think it's a lot about not flipping and also just finding the pressure and just sailing through it without going over. It's just what's going to win races here.
Yeah, being upside down is a little bit slow for your race. So
There's a
keeping
lot
the thing
less
upright.
wind underneath the water than there is above, I think.
Yeah.
In my experience, at least.
Well, and the current is good, but it's not going to help as much, right?
Pull you the wrong way.
Our very dedicated race committee team is trying very hard to get off race number 2. We support them in their efforts. Here's the countdown, guys, if you're setting your watches. Wow, that was a little bit of a turnabout from Pete Nicholas towards Chris Poole this time, though. I'm not sure how he got involved in this Swedish aggression. And that's your 3-minute countdown until the start. Now, it looks like some of the competitors might be engaged in some things other than yacht racing at the moment. But, Jack, what are you seeing as you look up the course? You kind of walked us through your pre-start routine. What do you see right now?
I think it's only going further right. So I think if you can get a really good boat start and just keep plowing through this chop, because there is some chop building up, and just keeping the boat flat, sailing fast, and just getting to the top mark first. So.
Okay, well, again, everybody take notes. That was good advice. Sophia, we've got 2 minutes and 15 seconds until the start. What are you looking at right now?
I think right now you're trying to figure out where you want to go on the line, because if you want to start at the pin, you got to get over there. If you want to start at the boat, you got to stay over here. I think everyone should probably be off the dock right about now, but
I was going to say,
I don't think people agree with me on
orthodox, is this an orthodox approach here at the Long Beach Yacht Club to have your FJ
I'll have
tied
to
up with
check
2 minutes to go?
the rules, but I feel like in my experience, you're not really supposed to be wrapped it up until a minute to go.
Okay,
I'm not
well,
sure,
I guess folks have been warned. Although I see Nicole trying to push her boat off the dock right now. Nicole, of course, sailing with Taryn Tandy. And then in boat 9, also currently tied up, Hudson and Bjorn. They might be doing a little bailing. We could probably forgive that. That was a minute and 30 seconds if you're playing along up here on the deck. Jack, anything you see out there the competitors are doing that you think is going to give them an advantage in this start?
Well, I think that the pin end is going to be actually pretty opened up because it seems like everybody's going for a late boat end approach. See, we just see LBYC 5, which is Taj and Chris Poole, jibe out and try and go further right, which I don't think will work out because there's just going to be so much congestion on this boat end.
And remember last race that Olivia, after being over, jibed her on the pin end and still came out. So I think that people might be making a little bit too much on the right here, but I guess the only way to find out is to watch the race.
It's wild out here. The congestion at the boat end, the Jack had identified, I get it. I can see it's a favorite end, but this is rough out here, huh, Jack?
Definitely. But I think we might see a little bit of congestion right here, right at this boat end here with LBYC 2 and 11.
Oh, there might be a foul there.
Yeah, I don't know what I think that we might see some circles out of the Otto and Pete duo in
I think boat
LBYC
6
11.
might be over again as well. They're not looking too great. Oh, they're going back down.
Yeah, we'll see here.
2,
Over.
1, gun. I think I might see a couple
There's
over.
a
Let's see
lot
what the
of
PRO
over earlies,
says.
I believe. Here we go. Boat
Just
six for
boat
second
6.
race in a row.
Oh
over
my gosh.
early.
Brooks and Peter Wickwire are continuing to sail on, but their timing might be just a little bit off, wouldn't you say?
I would say, and I don't know if they just can't hear the race committee, if they're just choosing to attempt to win the race anyways, even with being over early. But
Well, and I have to say that Otto and Pete, in spite of some of the shenanigans they had gotten into with the bailers down here in the starting area, have another really comfortable position. Jack, would you want who? If you could pick one boat on the race course right now, who would you want to be?
Definitely Otto. He just won that boat end, was punched, and his boat is super flat, way flatter than any other boat out there. He is in really good pressure. He's just going to tack right onto this ley line here. Might be a little over, but we'll see. But he is just moving really well.
Now, okay, so you've picked a boat who's going to come in on a pretty aggressive port ley line. Would you be worried at all about all these starboard boats coming at you?
I don't know. With the lead that he had, I might not be. But if it were a little closer and the race was a little bit tighter between the rest of the fleet, I would be definitely very concerned.
Yeah, I am not a port ley line girl. I don't have the stomach for it. Sophia, what do you think? What do you see up at the top mark right now?
I see Otto tacking right in there. Oh, and coming around the mark in first place.
Nice. And
Less
followed
of a lead than last
by-
time.
Is that followed by Zoe and Rocco?
I believe so.
Not bad. Nice recovery, Zoe. I think she was one of our capsizes in the first race, right?
It was. A huge gap also between the first two boats, then the third, fourth, and fifth are all pretty spaced out. And then closing back up after that fifth boat.
Yeah, Taj and Chris Poole, I think, are in third or fourth right now, and they had another really fabulous start and are proving that they are here to win the Junior Congressional Cup.
Oh, boat 8 tried to make the tall mark and they couldn't. They come on port. Oh.
Now, here's a moment where I really do wish we had some umpires in this Junior Congressional Cup for some on-the-water justice. Otherwise, we're going to need to start seeing some circles when we see collisions, right?
Yeah. Zoe Kringen catching up to Otto bit by bit. Will she be able to pass? She has overlap now. Might be able to get him at the leeward mark. Even if she can't pass him, she will have that inside overlap and room around the mark, I think.
That's some really nice maneuvering from Zoe. Very impressive. Yeah, exactly. Now
Further
down
back.
here, between Taj and Chris Poole and Elizabeth and Jan, this is another really tight one, huh? Jack, what do you think about the positioning between these two boats, 5 and 3?
Well, I really like where Elizabeth is because she has the inside on Taj and Chris Poole here, but we'll see how this bottom mark rounding goes. And she is looking like she is picking up some really good speed here, but we'll see.
Oh, an aggressive maneuver from Taj and Chris. You know, as they do get behind the yacht club here, I think the velocity comes down a little bit, and you have to be thinking kind of aggressively on this sort of jibe and reach over. Sophia, what do you see happen? What do you see setting up?
I see Zoe completely passing Otto, rounding the mark, clear ahead in first. Elizabeth has managed to stay ahead of Chris, or not Taj, Otto. And Elizabeth managing to stay ahead of Taj.
Ooh, and she goes for the tack. Does she have the cross? I think she does. Very
Looks
nice.
like it.
Zoe proving she is here to play.
I just think it's hilarious that you can really tell that these are Con Cup skippers because of their lack of the want to hike the boat completely flat, which you really don't see at my high school practice.
Oh wow. I think
There's a lot of fuel to
I
look
think
into.
that's a little bit of shade.
Look at these boats.
All right, guys,
Except
we're
for
looking
Otto.
for a little bit more hiking out of our Congressional Cup skippers. With that said, coming into the finish, we have Zoe Kringen with Rocco Attili crewing for her. I think she's got a tack, and she's got it. Or is Otto going to pass her? What's going to happen?
Otto
She's down
takes
speed
the
out of
win.
pack. Oh, my God. Otto with the pass. Woo!
Zoe had him at the bottom mark, but just couldn't make it last to the finish, missing him by inch. Or did she get it?
I think she
No.
just missed it, but that's a really impressive recovery after having been upside down just a few moments ago with Taj Lewis and Chris Poole coming in third in that race, and Elizabeth in fourth.
And then we have our returning champion, Olivia Corzine, about 4, coming in 5th that race.
Nice.
Not a bad scoreline, but I don't know how it's supposed to compete with Otto's current double win. He's
I
going for
know.
a picket fence, it looks like.
It's going to be hard to come after Otto, huh?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that. But I believe boat 6 was over, so they might just be chucked out of this race. With Brooks at the helm, I don't think he went back.
It's getting complicated out there, and I'm really glad that we're just commentating and not keeping score. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's quite difficult to keep track of it all going on, especially with the overs and the really close finishes.
We're really lucky to have a very dedicated race committee team for this event as well. Hey, everybody up on the deck, can we get a shout for our race committee who is doing an absolutely fabulous job for our Junior Congressional Cup? Thank you, race committee. Okay, Jack, you've done this regatta. You know the pressure is on as we go into this third race. Oh my God, okay, hold on. Hudson is having quite a day. Were you worried about Hudson coming into this at all?
I don't know. There's always some wild cards that come in here, but I wouldn't consider anybody here a wild card. They have proven why they should be here.
Yeah, talk to me about how you qualify for the Junior Congressional Cup. That's something I think folks up here would be pretty interested to hear about.
Well, you have to put in a couple good scores with other regattas to even qualify. So if you sail Sabbats or grew up sailing Sabbats and you want to qualify for this, you have to have some really good scores in the Sabbat fleet to then try and qualify. But you can also be doing a bunch of other boats, FJs, lasers, 420s, whatever it is. If you have good scores, they will accept you.
And looking at our leaderboard here, do you get the sense, we sort of talked about this as a more junior field than a lot of years. Do you get the sense that the double-handed sailors have a little bit of an advantage, or are you seeing this kind of all over the map?
Well, I totally would agree with the double-handing sailors definitely taking a lead here. But I will give Zoe credit. She has not done that much double-handed that I am aware of, and she has just pulled off a 2, almost a 1. So that is really impressive on her behalf.
It's super exciting, and it was a total heartbreaker. Sophia, what do you think?
I would just like to point out that Tara and Tandy and Nicole Brill have an entire pit crew currently working on their boat to get it dried and properly set up for the next race. And I just think that's fantastic. I want to point it out to
I'm not
everyone.
sure what the outside assistance rules are in this race, but I love to see the
We have
camaraderie
3
and the
people
teamwork.
not racing currently in their boat. I don't even know what they're fixing, but they must be fixing something. They're hard at work.
Well, and I'm looking down at some of the folks fixing this boat. This is Nicole Brault's actual Congressional Cup
Correct,
team.
yes.
If I trust someone with a repair, I think I'm going to trust some Congressional Cup sailors.
Looks like they were adjusting the tension for the heavy wind we have out here, something that a couple boats might want to look into, especially the ones that capsized. Might be a good idea.
Okay, we're about to get the last race of the Junior Congressional Cup underway. There's some people taking some breaks. There's some people sailing around checking out the race course. Maybe let's take another look upwind. Sophia, what do you see up there?
I'm seeing just more and more pressure happening at the windward mark. I think no matter where you go, once you get up to the mark, there's going to be a lot of pressure trying to come in downwinds. I think the pressure may have moved a little bit left, though. It's looking a little bit lighter on the right over here near the dock. So just keeping that in mind as they start sailing upwind.
And Jack, do you think that the pressure pattern that Sophia's observed here, do you think it's like geography? Do you think it has to do with like the streets up on the peninsula? Like what drives the weather down here?
Well, I think it's a little weird how it funnels through, because just where it's coming from, it comes like in different waves. Like there could be a house like further up, and it goes through like their driveway or wherever it goes through, but it just finds a way to funnel through, and it won't be as balanced of a course with all the funneling, and some spots on the course might have more pressure just due to that.
Yeah, I've spent a fair amount of time as a junior sailor up here in Long Beach as well as down in Newport Harbor. And another factor I'm always thinking about in both of these venues is if there's a shore lift and how I could take advantage of it. Sophia, do you think that in this particular venue there's any advantage to be gained from getting pretty close to these docks?
I am not sure, because if you were to gain anything, I think right now the pressure just isn't really with it.
Yeah,
It
the
still looks a
pressure's
little
in the
bit
middle of the
behind
course, but the pressure's in the middle of the course, but the lifts are out on the corners,
I
kind of,
agree,
right?
yes.
All right.
I think it's really just who can get the most punched off the line, because once you have nobody covering your breeze, you're just going to rock in front of everybody and stay ahead for the entire upwind.
At least that's going to be something that I think a lot of these crews have heard before, and probably most of the skippers too, huh? We're just about to get into our sequence here for the third and final race of the Junior Congressional Cup. Okay, this is our wake-up call coming in just a couple of seconds. And we already see a pile up at the boat, Jack. Do you think this is strategy?
I don't know. I really couldn't tell you here. This is just, it's definitely a different approach for everybody, but I don't know. We'll see. There's a lot of congestion, and we're going to see how it plays out in the next minute here.
Yeah, because, I mean, if you can win at the favored side of the starting line, that's a huge win, but that's a really risky move. You're taking a lot of potential problems on, Sophia, right, when you're in so much traffic.
Yeah, I think a lot of people at the beginning of the sequence, they're just trying to get the time, but it's just being able to clear obstacles like that paddleboarder there, and just like you don't want to get caught up in the congestion, because if you get too stuck there, it goes going to hit, and you're not going to be moving, and everyone else is, and it's just not a great place to be.
And I got to tell you, speaking of some congestion, I do see a pink Duffy, likely bachelorette party, up above the weather mark right now, but getting blown down towards our course. We might have a little bit of interference, huh, Jack?
Yeah, definitely. But I think they'll definitely cheer louder than the people on the dock. The Duffys love to cheer, but I want to see if everybody on the dock can out-cheer this Duffy here.
Okay, guys. We have just about 2 minutes until the start. Can you just show me and Jack? Can you out-cheer this Duffy in 3, 2, 1? Go, Junior Congressional Cup champs! Woo! Oh, Boat 6 getting called out by the PRO. Already over early.
Yeah, I think this pink Duffy is going to come through our race course right as we're starting to go upwind. And I think someone's going to hit attack, and that Duffy's going to get very loud very quickly.
I just hope that they appreciate the history that they are witnessing here with perhaps not the 60th running of the Junior Congressional Cup, but yet another important running of the Junior Congressional Cup.
All right, we're coming up on a minute here in the next 10 seconds. We are already seeing another large pile up at the boat. Couple people like Boat 10 look like they're going for that port approach into the mark. Otto's doing the same thing he's been doing for the last couple races, just coming for that late boat approach.
That was our 1 minute mark. And Jack, you keep remarking on it, and I have to keep calling it out. The congestion at the boat. This is not, I don't want to be down there. That looks horrible.
Oh, definitely. But I think if you can balance this, and you can get through all of the fleet, number 11 Otto, and he's just been able to get out of the boat every time, and he has shown that because his scores are very consistent. He has two first places, and he's won the boat on every race, and we should definitely keep an eye on 11.
But Jack, I gotta tell you, he's in an 8th row start right now. Something has gotta give. How is this the plan? He is with just 15 seconds to go. He's got to make some magic happen, huh?
Yeah, definitely. But I think the more and more time that's gonna go through here, he's gonna have more time to get through and get a good start. Let's see here.
Oh my God, Jack! Look at that! Look at that, Jack. Like you said, this is some pretty skillful craftsmanship from Otto and Chris Steele. They really did a good job winning that boat, but I don't know if they had the speed that some of the other competitors did.
Yeah, it was all about the pressure there. They just weren't in good pressure, so.
It can be tough. You want the boat so bad, but it's the pressure sometimes there's a hole behind it, whatever it may be. Right now, I think boat 5 is looking pretty good with Taj Lewis and Chris Poole. What do you think, Sophia?
I agree. I think he's looking in a really good spot. Looks like he might be able to pinch boat 2 off, or if not, he's going to get to that left side obstruction. Looks like everyone's cleared that pink Duffy pretty easily. No major things there. Otto's actually not looking too bad there. He has a lot of pressure, and he might be able to call starboard on a lot of these boats coming back port.
Pretty exciting as we head up to the weather mark. And one of the things that I don't know if either of you guys know, but the Junior Congressional Cup is actually sponsored by F&M Bank. They're also sponsoring a party right after this. So if you have not already opened a checking account to save your pennies, save your babysitting money, I recommend that you do so. Okay, so Otto tacked out a little bit early because he's looking for some opportunities, and it looks like he is in some pressure. I think I see LBYC 2, which is Zoe Kringen and Rocco Attili again, are in another pretty good position as we head up towards the weather mark.
I think Taj, who is in boat 5, has been very consistent, but Otto's just been more consistent. And I think Taj is just looking for the inconsistency or the flaw that Otto will make here and just bank on that.
Yeah, and honestly, the points are going to be really close just based on what we're seeing at this weather mark rounding. I think I may have seen some contact there too. So again, umpire team, if you're looking for another job, we might have one for you here at the Junior Congressional Cup. This is, I think, actually, Jack, what you and I were talking about right before the first start, where you turn downwind, but then how are you supposed to get clear air? The leaders have everybody piled up on top of them, huh?
Definitely. But I would say Taj here might be right. He might be covered here, but boat 2 might be having a little bit of rocking, which is a little bit illegal, but I don't know. I might just be calling that out. And
We
boat
see you,
4
Zoe.
and 6 here. 4 and 6 just had a port starboard. I don't know if anybody's spinning for that, but that I would definitely call.
All right, I would like to start seeing a little bit more circles out of some of our competitors here. But Sophia, talk to us about what's happening down here as we approach the leeward mark.
Well, we have our current first place boat, Otto, already passing boats, coming into 4th, and he might be able to get into 3rd if he can pass boat 3 by the bottom mark. We have Taj Lewis just pulling more and more ahead. He just has that clean air that Zoe just really can't cover from the angle they're on. I think the first 2 boats are pretty locked. Don't have anyone for a while behind them.
It's really impressive building that kind of lead on this short of a race course. That takes pretty good skill. Jack, are both of these double-handed sailors?
Well, yeah, they're pretty. Zoe isn't, but Taj has put in a little bit of time. I think Otto might have a little bit more time on him, which might show, but we'll see here.
Yeah, Otto's in a little bit of a sticky situation down here at the leeward
Looks
mark.
like there's
He's in
a
kind of
scuffle
a sandwich, I would say. Looking for some room, and I'm not sure exactly how that one's going to work out, but might also be a great opportunity for a pass.
Beautiful
And he
out of that mark.
sticks his bow in there on boat 4, which is Olivia Corzine and Chris Steele. That's Otto actually really made some hay out of that leeward mark rounding. When you say,
Taj
Sophia?
Lewis is just building more and more of a lead here. He's coming in with no one for miles behind him into this finish line.
Very impressive. And now, this is going to come down to pretty close points, but Taj putting a bullet up after a second and a third is putting himself in a pretty good position to potentially take this regatta. But I want to see how it shakes out a couple
Taj
boats down.
Lewis in first place. We can give him a hand. I think really this regatta is going to up at how many boats Otto can pass before he finishes here. He's already in third, looks like maybe fourth, unless he can get Olivia before the finish, but we'll have to see how that pans out right now.
We're all watching Otto very closely right now because Otto's finish here is going to determine the winner of the F&M Bank Junior Congressional Cup. If he gets a fourth, I'm going to need to get my mathematicians and scorers on this, but we're going to talk to the race committee.
All right, we've got 10 coming in here with a late tack around the pin, but I think they may have gotten that point. 3 coming in here for, I don't know what place that is actually. 6, 7.
Okay, guys, let me level with you. I would love to announce the winner of the F&M Bank Junior Congressional Cup, but right now, based on the math up here in the commentary booth, which you guys know can be a little bit suspect, it is extremely close. So I'd like to consult with my PRO and scoring team. Oh, or alternatively, perhaps the answer here is you should come to our prize giving and press conference.
I think that sounds like a wonderful idea because we're going to have the winner, whoever it may be, that is going to be part of the press conference sitting up there with next to their Congressional Cup skipper, and we're just going to get to hear from them and how they thought the regatta went.
Not just that, but the press conference is going to begin over in the pool area, sort of the pool deck area, and just about a half an hour. Commodore Lisa Meyer, would you invite all these folks on the deck over to our press conference?
So we don't have the winner just yet. So come to the prize giving at 6 o'clock over by the poolside where the F&M Bank party continues. We'll see you all poolside shortly.
Thank you, Commodore Lisa Meyer, and thank you, Sophia Corzine and Jack McGee. Really appreciate it, both of you helping me out with some commentary. Thank you, of course, also to all of our Junior Congressional Cup participants. It's been a pleasure to watch you race.